Finding our other half, that particular person who can complete us, is a typical objective in our romantic searches. Our desire for connection is at the center of this search, which can often lead us on an endless quest for solutions. However, what happens when we believe we've found the one? How can we know if this partnership has actual compatibility or if it is just a coincidence? Stoicism, an ancient philosophical tradition that emphasizes the importance of knowing one's own virtues and harmonizing them with the environment, can assist us navigate these problems. According to Stoicism, compatibility is founded on mutual respect for each other's character and life philosophy, rather than common hobbies or fleeting passions. Consider this: two persons in a relationship who, following the Stoic road, find harmony not in opposing viewpoints, but in their mutual recognition of the inherent impermanence of all things. This Stoic grounding encourages us to delve deeper into the most important aspects of compatibility, rather than concentrating solely on superficial similarities. It teaches us that genuine unity does not involve avoiding problems, but rather confronting them front-on with honesty, bravery, and wisdom. However, let's not pretend for a moment. It is easier said than done to comprehend and tolerate diversity. Each of us is a wonderfully complex individual with our own unique set of idiosyncrasies, interests, and points of view. The second challenge is how to recognize the difference between common fluctuations that spice up a relationship and those that indicate a deeper conflict. We shall begin this journey today. We will look at the symptoms that may indicate a fundamental mismatch using both modern relationship research and Stoicism's timeless principles. We hope that by mixing multiple perspectives, we can provide you with philosophically rich and practical insights that will help you better understand what it takes for a marriage to be compatible. This talk is for you if you are just starting out in a romantic relationship, are curious about the depth of your present relationship, or are simply wanting to understand what it means to connect with others. Join us as we study the warning signs of an unhealthy relationship, applying Stoicism's wisdom and serenity to our modern desire for love. As we embark on this adventure together, we much value your continuous support and engagement. We welcome you to subscribe to our channel and join us on this illuminating voyage. Every aspect of our discussion today has been meticulously organized, so we ask that you watch the entire video. 1. How Stoic virtues and shared interests create lasting connections. The ancient Stoics, based on their extensive knowledge of the human condition, emphasized the importance of shared virtues and ideals as the cornerstone of every successful partnership. In today's world, this emerges as a bond built on common interests, hobbies, and passions, rather than merely shared values. Pursuing eudaimonia, often known as flourishing or the good life, is important to Stoicism. According to this philosophical ideal, a partnership thrives when both parties are committed to self-improvement and moral excellence, which extends beyond the individual and includes the relationships we develop. Whether it's in the arts, literature, nature, or anything else that promotes reciprocal development and inquisitiveness, shared interests serve as conduits for us to collaboratively study these ideas. However, when people in a relationship have little in common, it can lead to a breach, a gradual drift as people's lives take different directions and there is little left to bond over. Imagine you and a friend walking silently through a garden, not because it improves your experience together, but because the paths you follow will no longer lead to merriment, humor, or shared wonder. Just because two people have diverse hobbies does not exclude them from complementing one another. In fact, diversity adds spice to any relationship. Relationships can be powerful, but they can quickly collapse if you don't have anything in common to link you. In keeping with the Stoic philosophy of scrutinizing our actions and making decisions based on our inner qualities, we should make an effort to seek activities that help us grow as individuals and enhance our bonds with those we care about. The social aspect of Stoicism, the concept that our well-being is inextricably linked to that of others, is expressed in the act of sharing, whether it's an intellectual debate, a peaceful walk in nature, or the joy of creating something together. When we share common interests, we embrace the Stoic principles of wisdom, fairness, fearlessness, and moderation. We are intelligent when we take the time to learn about and understand one another's interests, fair when we give each other space to pursue these things, daring when we try new things as a group, and moderate when we strike a balance between our own and others' interests. 2. How Stoicism can help resolve value conflicts in relationships. At first glance, disagreements over values and ideals between spouses may appear to be minor barriers or even lovable idiosyncrasies. However, the more we investigate, the more we see that these contrasts are about something far more fundamental, the values that guide our decisions in life. Stoicism believes that our ideals and convictions are not static points in space, but rather active, breathing entities that influence everything from our decisions to our character. They influence how we react to adversity, celebrate joy, and navigate life's complex problems. Consider the Stoic principle of harmony with nature, which applies to not only the physical world, but also human interactions and societal systems. This philosophy encourages a life of virtue based on reason, calling us to seek harmony both within and externally. Consider negotiating a relationship in which you have differing core beliefs about the meaning of life, the sources of good and evil, and the things you should aim for. This divergence in perspective can cause a schism in both spouses' underlying ideals, as well as in daily decisions. Having said that, Stoicism teaches us to see things from numerous perspectives and to distinguish between what is under our control and what is beyond it. It encourages us to have open discussions about our differences in order to better understand them, especially when we encounter conflicting ideas and beliefs. It makes us ponder whether these differences are insurmountable obstacles or opportunities to learn from one another and enhance our own philosophical ideas. There is no need to remain constant in all aspects of our beliefs and values, according to the Stoic technique of connection. It promotes, on the contrary, a mutual respect for each spouse's intellectual and ethical capacities. Regardless of our differences, it encourages us to consider how our shared lives might reflect the Stoic virtues of knowledge, fairness, fearlessness, and moderation. Is it feasible to find a shared road to happiness based on Stoic ideals while respecting each partner's dignity and independence? Let us keep the Stoic traits in mind while we analyze how various values and beliefs affect our relationships. We should approach each other with empathy, understanding, and a genuine desire for the success of the partnership as whole. Finally, this is what it means to have a solid relationship built on mutual respect and ideals. 3. Unlocking deeper love, the Stoic approach to authenticity. This approach is particularly compatible with Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes the importance of being real, understanding oneself, and acting in accordance with one's intrinsic character. Because of their emphasis on virtue and purposeful life, the ancient Stoics advised us not to compromise our essential principles in order to fit in with society. The ability to be one's authentic self around another person is necessary to any genuine connection, not a bonus. For a moment, imagine yourself in someone else's shoes, feeling the burden of concealing your true emotions, thoughts, and essence from everyone around you, especially the individuals you care about the most. While wearing this mask may temporarily keep you from feeling vulnerable, it will eventually cause a gulf between you and your partner, as well as yourself. The importance of being honest in relationships can be better appreciated via the Stoic perspective, which emphasizes inner freedom and the development of personal virtue. The Stoics place a high value on character integrity and living a life that is consistent with reason and virtue. Pursuing this route necessitates a level of transparency and honesty that is both hard and rewarding, with oneself and, by extension, one's partner. The inability to be one's real self in a relationship contradicts both Stoic principles and the fundamental human yearning for friendship and understanding. Living in denial or fear of criticism precludes one from completely engaging in the Stoic discipline of introspection, which involves analyzing one's inner workings, such as thoughts, reasons, and actions. The Stoic goal of living in harmony with one's nature is unattainable if one suppresses or obscures it. Furthermore, when one is not authentic, the Stoic concept of oikeiosis, the innate affection and belonging that one feels for oneself and eventually for others, is weakened. Partners stifle this organic evolution toward caring for and understanding one another by withholding crucial aspects of themselves from one another. If the relationship lacks this foundation of real self-expression, it will be unable to cope with life's inevitable challenges. However, there are hurdles along the route to understanding one's true self. Removing the boundaries we've meticulously built up over the years requires boldness, another Stoic virtue. Finding a balance between our natural want to express ourselves and being mindful of our partner's feelings and points of view necessitates discretion in selecting someone to confide in and adopting moderation. Following the Stoic ideals of honesty and virtue in love relationships not only makes us more authentic, but also allows us to connect with our partners on a deeper, more meaningful level. The strength and depth of a connection can be discovered on this route of authenticity, which is fraught with vulnerability. It thrives when both life partners are committed to personal and collective growth, as well as mutual respect and understanding. 4. The power of acceptance, Stoic guidance for relationship harmony. Echoing Stoic ideas of acceptance and focusing on what we can change, the desire to see change in one's partner may be a challenging subject in the complex dance of a relationship. Because of their extensive knowledge of human nature, the Stoics taught us that the only things we truly have control over are our own brains, acts, and reactions. This insight sheds light on the difficulties of wanting change in the people we care about, especially in our relationships. When we express a wish for our partner to change, we must analyze where it came from. Is it a reflection of our desire for their personal growth and achievement? Or do we harbor our own anxieties, dreams, and insecurities? Stoicism encourages us to look within, to understand why we do what we do, and to discern between our own free will and the free will of others in terms of their ideas, beliefs, and actions. Reflecting on one's own behavior is a powerful reminder of the need of leading by example, rather than fostering complacency or giving up. Epictetus, a well-known Stoic philosopher, famously stated, "Lead yourself then by your example." If we want our relationships to grow, evolve, or become more understanding, we can provide a positive example by living according to these ideals rather than attempting to force others to do so. This strategy fosters an environment of kindness and support in which people are encouraged to change rather than forced to. When one spouse desires something different from their mate, it may indicate that they are looking for more from the partnership. It is critical to follow the Stoic practice of communicating honestly and freely while preserving an ethos of empathy and respect. You can construct a relationship in which you both feel supported as you seek to improve yourself by being open and honest about what you want out of life, what you expect from it, and where you believe you may progress. Stoicism, however, teaches the virtue of acceptance. It is recognizing other people's and our own flaws for what they are, complex components of a larger whole, not flaws to be fixed. Within the context of unconditional love and acceptance, this acceptance does not decrease the desire for growth or improvement. This philosophy is based on the understanding that each person's path to self-improvement is unique and cannot be pushed. When it comes to wanting a spouse to change, Stoicism emphasizes the importance of striking a balance between acceptance and inspiration. Building a community that values and encourages learning and development via mutual respect, open communication, and setting a positive example is critical. It acts as a subtle reminder to focus on the things we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, and to be present for our partner's journey, expressing empathy, tolerance, and compassion. Wisdom, bravery, fairness, and moderation are the foundational virtues that strengthen and fortify our relationships. 5. Stoic principles for managing mismatched sexual needs in relationships. When it comes to dealing with this sensitive aspect of a relationship, the Stoics offer a sound philosophical foundation through their emphasis on understanding, acceptance, and control of desires. Many people avoid discussing their mismatched libidos due to social shame and personal discomfort with the subject. The first step in overcoming such difficulties, according to Stoicism, is to recognize that people's aims are naturally diverse and that we have the ability to choose how we respond to these disparities. This acknowledgement is important because it shifts the narrative from one of shame or inadequacy to one of empathy and understanding. When it comes to mismatched libidos, Stoicism has a fascinating idea called amor fati, which means love of fate or love of one's fate. Rather than viewing it as a weakness, lovers should embrace it as a part of their common journey. Rather than assuming passive acceptance, this viewpoint promotes active participation in determining a balanced path forward. The goal is to accept the problem as it is and work together to discover solutions that respect each partner's limitations and desires. Here, the Stoic ideal of speaking one's mind is critical. The only way to genuinely understand and meet each other halfway is to discuss our sexual desires and demands, no matter how frightening it may appear. Finding pleasant and unique ways to exhibit closeness that appeal to both parties is more vital than simply compromising. The Stoic philosophy of focusing on what we can control, such as our words, actions, and attitudes toward one another, is congruent with this polite and compassionate discourse. Furthermore, when dealing with sexual variations, recall the Stoic virtue of moderation. The takeaway here is the significance of compromising, of finding a method to meet both partners' requirements for intimacy and frequency of sexual encounters, regardless of whether libido is dominant. Moderation encourages a broader notion of intimacy, which includes emotional attachment, physical proximity, and shared experiences in addition to sexual bonding. Looking at the issue of mismatched libidos via a Stoic lens transforms it into an opportunity for self and relational growth. Justice, seeking a balance that considers the well-being of both partners equally. Wisdom, understanding and respecting each other's perspectives. And courage, expressing one's needs and vulnerabilities, are all virtues that are encouraged in this partnership. Couples that adhere to these Stoic ideas can face the problems of having various sexual urges with understanding, imagination, and a stronger commitment. What counts most is to form a friendship based on understanding, reverence, and a shared desire to see each other succeed in life. 6. How Stoicism helps you laugh more and love better. Laughter and delight in relationships not only demonstrate compatibility and mutual understanding, but they also act as a catalyst for deeper connections. The joy that comes from really accepting and enjoying each moment of life is fundamentally consistent with Stoicism, even if it does not explicitly promote laughter. This complicated and logical link between Stoicism and the function of laughter in relationships forces us to study the importance of shared happiness and how its absence may signify a deeper estrangement. When really lived, laughing is more than just a hilarious sensation. It is a uniting emotion that pulls people together, producing moments of genuine connection and understanding. In many relationships, a lack of shared delight suggests a gap in how the couple perceives and interacts with the environment and each other. When two people share Stoic principles, the significance of inner peace and leading a decent life, it offers a healthy environment for joy and laughter to flourish. It emphasizes that the most gratifying aspects of life are typically the small interactions we have with others, and it encourages us to pursue fulfillment and joy in these relationships. When the comedy in a relationship begins to wear thin, it may be time to reconsider the fundamentals. Is it conceivable that we allow ourselves to become so preoccupied with difficulties outside of our relationship that we neglect to recognize the moments of enjoyment and camaraderie that are already present? Stoicism teaches us to prioritize ourselves, our ideas and feelings, and our relationships. Taking a Stoic perspective can assist us in building an attitude that cherishes good times spent together and recognizes their importance to the health of our relationships. Furthermore, a lack of joy and laughing may indicate that the partners are not compatible or do not understand one another. According to Stoicism, which emphasizes reflection and mutual regard, rediscovering shared interests, values, and worldviews can reignite the flame of shared joy. It asserts that laughter is more than just shared humor. It is also about common life philosophy and the satisfaction that results from two people's spirits harmonizing with one another. When viewed in this light, laughter is a good indicator of a relationship's strength, since it demonstrates how well the two people involved understand and connect with one another. To compensate for the lack of humor and delight, Stoicism proposes a path forward that includes honest discussion, reciprocal aid, and a shared commitment to nurturing the connection. It says that couples should do activities that make them happy, be grateful for the times they share joy, and approach challenges with a team-oriented mindset that values learning and development. By embracing Stoic ideas, couples may tackle their relationships' obstacles with grace, bravery, and a renewed resolve to making laughter and joy the foundation of their marriage. Stoicism provides a philosophical framework for couples whose relationships are marked by a lack of laughter and joy, encouraging them to dig deeper into their shared principles, respect one another, and actively explore ways to cultivate joy. It demonstrates that laughter is more than just a nice-to-have in a relationship. It represents the bond developed when two people share a same goal: happiness. 7. Love languages, explained through Stoic philosophy. Understanding and expressing love in multiple languages is an exciting journey inside relationships, similar to navigating a big sea with varying currents and winds. This metaphor wonderfully reflects Stoicism, which cherishes each person's originality and ability to experience and express love in their own unique way. Stoicism encourages us to go with the flow in our lives and relationships. Affirmation through words, service, gifts, quality time, and physical touch are examples of love languages, which demonstrate how various people's emotional needs and expressions vary. Explore and bridge these love language differences using Stoicism's rich basis, which promotes self-awareness, empathy, and the development of strong, lasting relationships. Stoicism's primary principles highlight the importance of knowing oneself and others, encouraging a thorough understanding of our inner lives and how they influence our interactions with those we care about. The want for connection, appreciation, and affection is universal, and when partners in a relationship express it in different languages, it's like hearing multiple dialects of the same yearning. Following the Stoic principle of seeking wisdom or knowledge of the nature of things, in the context of love, languages means diving deeply into the precise ways in which our partners feel and express affection for us. When we accept the Stoic perspective of several love languages, we must cultivate the virtues of empathy and patience, which allow us to prioritize our partner's love expressions over our own and appreciate them regardless of how they differ. When two people's beliefs align, it creates an environment in which understanding each other's love language is viewed as an opportunity to demonstrate how much they care. Understanding and adjusting to one another's emotional dialects can bring joy, resulting in a greater link between people. Also, when figuring out how to communicate in each love language, the Stoic concept of mutual support and development shows brightly. Stoicism encourages us to see difficulty as an opportunity to grow in ourselves and in our relationships. So, rather than viewing the issue of various love languages as a barrier, we can see it as an opportunity to learn more about ourselves and our relationships via the conscious practice of love in all its forms. This method is all about our ability to give and receive love in all of its forms, without changing ourselves or our partners. Incorporating the Stoic principle of living in harmony with nature, our true nature, which includes our innate yearning for connection and comprehension, into the framework of the 4 love languages underlines the importance of open and honest communication. Couples can deal with their differences with compassion and respect by having honest conversations about our emotional needs and how we express love, in line with the Stoic values of wisdom, fearlessness, and justice. As we conclude today's exploration of love, understanding, and the Stoic journey through the complexities of relationships, we are reminded of the tremendous strength that comes from accepting our differences, learning a language of love that connects with our partners, and walking the path of emotional growth and mutual respect together. When we put in the time and effort together, our bonds grow stronger, and we experience the love and camaraderie that the Stoics envisioned. We at Stoic Journal are pleased that you could make it today. Because of your engagement and presence, our community brings to light modern wisdom and insight. As we continue to navigate life's waves, let us remember the usefulness of Stoic values in developing relationships that not only survive, but thrive. If you enjoyed today's experience, watching one of the recommended videos on your screen will take you deeper into the art of living a good life. With each stride, you gain wisdom, resilience, and a greater link with those around you. Until we meet again, may you find happiness along the way, courage in the face of hardship, and love in the expressing of emotions.